All right, thank you, Gert-Jan. My name is Jaap, indeed. I am responsible for the HCM side of the ERP solution. And the reason why we set this meeting and this event up is because I talk quite a lot to customers, and what I hear is that, hey, Jaap, we are interested in the solution, but we are kind of struggling with finding the right people, and we are struggling with keeping the right talent. And is the solution that you have in mind that you want to offer, is that helping me? And I always give answer to some extent. It is not only a solution. A tool is just a tool. And if you have a culture that also fits the way of working and you really want to improve your performance, then this tool could help you improve your whole business. And it really depends on your culture and so many different factors. And I think it's a good idea to have an event today to discuss, okay, what do you do as a company to combat the Great Resignation and really use tools, but also your culture to to defend yourself to this situation. And for that, I spoke to many different customers, and among those, I also talked to Martijn Lodder. And Martijn Lodder, he is the co-founder of the Growth Collective. And his aim is to create profitable organizations that are sustainable with a focus on customers and teams. And the Growth Collective is a company that has about, I believe, 8 companies, and one of them is TrueQ. And a couple of years ago, we adopted TrueQ as cloud team company because we really want to get more insights on the metrics of performance and to be able to really steer on performance and not only on gut feeling, but also on numbers. So I'm very happy that Martijn Lodder wants to join this panel. Then we also have invited Wally and Wally Beersak, and she's HR manager of Amphenol. And Amphenol is one of the world's largest providers of high technology interconnect, and their products enable the electronics revolution. So they deliver products for so many different businesses, such as automotive, broadband communications, data communications, military, you name it, everything you name it. And yeah, I'm very happy that Wally wants to join us and give her view and her take on this whole Great Resignation. And last but not least, we have Bastiaan Muller. And Bastiaan is CEO of TMA, and he is co-founder of the TMA method and also co-author of the book From Talent to Performance. Now, what is TMA? TMA is a global company that helps clients to hire the right people and develop and motivate them in their careers. And they truly support clients with their talent management. And that's one thing, but TMA is also a SaaS company providing software solutions for talent management. So with his insights and with the insights of Wally and Martijn, I think we have a really great panel. And I really want to welcome you and appreciate that you want to give your view on the Great Resignation. So welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I prepared a couple of questions. And the first one is basically, and I don't know who wants to start, but who wants to tell a little bit more? Do you actually agree with the idea of the Great Resignation?
Shall I start?
Yeah, sure.
Women's first.
I do agree with the Great Resignation. I think it would be a little bit silly not well to disagree with the term, but I have to admit that in our industry or in our area of the industry,
yeah,
we were not so affected by it, which is nice, right? Which was very nice for us. What I do recognize that it was hard to find the right skilled people before the Great Resignation, and that did not change. So for us, it means that it's important to find the right people. It's important to retain them. the Great Resignation was, at least in Europe, and that's my area of responsibility, was not so much of a topic. And I know it was different in some areas in Asia and the US for our company. But in Europe, not so much. We saw a slight increase in employee turnover, and it was especially in the areas where salaries were a little bit lower, and because of inflation, people had difficulties, to pay the bills at the end of the month, and were therefore very much attracted by higher salaries. And we saw on the market strange things if it comes to salary, right? So I do not disagree, but we were not so affected.
Okay, and how about you, Martijn?
Yeah, the Great Resignation is my market is for the Dutch market. So we see at some companies a Great Resignation, but for our own companies, the 8 Ventures, it was important to get the right people, and then and we are searching for trainees, but also for more experienced people. And also the digital world, but also in consultancy. And then we had to have good systems or ATS to track and trace those people. But also when we have them in our organization, to pay them well, but also get the right attention for them, and just develop them in the right skills. So good leadership was very important to retain those people and keep them inside our organizations, and not leave too soon, because I think the new generations don't believe in long stays, and will be able to deliver as soon as possible, as the leadership is well within the organization.
So what you say is that this group is a little bit less, how do you say, loyal to their employer.
Yeah, loyal, but also stay open for feedback, pay in line with the markets, and also get a family culture within your organization. Then it's possible that they are staying longer.
Okay, do you recognize this, Bastian?
We're mainly focused in Europe, and I agree with my former speakers that here it's less of a problem. The Great Resignation, I think it's more called a war on talent. We need more people that have the right talents to do the job, and often the companies are not looking at the right places. And the right place where you have your talent is already inside the companies. So I think people are leaving for a great extent because people are not challenged on their talents. And we believe that everybody has talents. It's not a little group of people within a company or within an organization that has talents. No. Everybody is having talents, even the people that are not performing well, from low to high, everybody has them. And if you start looking within in your company and recognize that they have talents, but they maybe do not use their talents in the right way, in the right roles, the right tasks, then they will leave. Combined with good leadership, which gives them autonomy and mastery and a purpose, then people would much rather stay. It's all, I think, not about systems. We're all companies that sell systems also, but culture is everything. I just told before the webinar, culture eats structure and business before breakfast. If you don't have the right culture, then the tool is it's only a tool, or a fool with a tool remains a fool. So I think there is something going on in the market. What I hear in the United States, yes, there is something called the Great Resignation, more in the lower paying areas. But what I see here in Europe, it's more a war on talent, because we have new ways to work. We want to grow, and we want to attract the right people. And I think so. I agree with the Great Resignation, but it's here in Europe a bit different.
But
Yeah.
is the Great Resignation, Jaap, also maybe a next step after the COVID period? So lots of people kept their job because of the not sustainable chances in the market.
It's a good question, and what I believe, and I agree with what you say in terms of culture. But if you look at a solution, it will help you to understand a little bit more why people are leaving. So a system, a solution that we implement, it gives you ideas, and if you have that culture to ask people from, okay, good that you are good, and so you mentioned that you are planning to leave the company, but why are you leaving? What is the reason? And how can we anticipate on not having the same story again in the future, so that we understand, okay, what are reasons, and how can we improve ourselves to become even better? And I'm not going to say that you need to change your culture, because that's going to be very difficult.
No.
But it will help you also with the solutions in place to steer actively.
I agree. You need good solutions and good software, but it must be accompanied by a good culture change. So I think these things go together. They go hand in hand, and where we see where our software solutions are implemented in the right way, with good attention by good partners, then you have the best results. So I think it's very important to have good systems, good solutions, but also a good implementation of these systems, and that always touches culture for a main part. So yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's difficult, but you have the most performance and the most return on investment if you do it. If you do both.
And Wally, you mentioned that you don't see it that much here in Europe, but you do more see it in the US. Why do you think that is currently the case? Why is it in the US much more than here? Do you know?
I think there are multiple reasons, but probably the main reason is that in the US, COVID had a big role in it. That's what I suspect. That the hybrid way of working was introduced, or the home working a lot, remote working. I think that influenced a lot in the US how people were thinking about working, and the amount of possibilities that were created by that. I also think that there was a huge amount of people in other industries that lost their jobs. And that created, possibilities in all areas as well. So I think people that maybe were not able to work remote, they made the choice to work for companies where they could work remote. They could go and live closer to their family. So I think there are all kind of things that that influenced it. And in our industry, in our area, and not if I'm talking about automotive markets or the mil aero market, for example, but especially in the areas where we had to deal with IT and data telecom or consumer electronics, the business was booming, especially during COVID. So the demand was great. So there is plenty of opportunity as well.
Yeah.
I think also there was a difference in help from the governments. In America, they help people, they give them money, and so they could survive. They were fired because of COVID, and the government helped people with checks. In Europe, we did it differently. We helped companies and organizations. We gave organizations money so they could pay their employees. So that's a big difference. So the people stayed here more. They kept in line with the company. They kept working in the company, even if they had less to do, but they were still a company employee. So I think that's a big difference between the United States and Europe.
Yeah, but good point, Bastian, and also Wally. The coming week we have in the Netherlands a week of growth, and I'm having a session about on Monday about the book No Rules Rules from the Netflix organization. And if you read that book, very interesting, I think, you get a look of the culture of Netflix, and some points, and it's a bit American based, but some points are very important. And I hear Bastian and also Wally say it, that you have to create a responsibility low in the organization, but also pay in line of the market. And what Netflix does may be better than the market. And then create a culture where people have given each other positive and also opbouwende feedback to develop themselves, and that makes, and Netflix also don't have any holiday vakantiedagen, Jaap?
Yeah, holiday.
Holiday, and also that keep that the resigning in the Netflix organization is very low. So
is that what they say, or is that a fact?
It's the effect. That's the effect. Okay.
Yeah. But I think this relates very much to the culture, because they have a culture of giving feedback, a positive, a positive environment, an environment of connection, that people can give feedback to each other, and in the end, it's all about sincere attention from between people, between colleagues, between the high management to the lower management, to the low to the team leaders, to their employees. Why do people leave? Not because of companies, because of bad managers and bad leaders. That's why they leave.
And that's what you hear all the time. And then So I think you're right.
So the tools are important there. So we have TrueCube, but we also have a tool called 2 Days Mood. I don't know if you know that, but 2 Days Mood is measuring the engagement. So every week we are having a good view on the engagement from our teams, but the leadership and the culture is important to keep the responsibility high. So tools are helping us, but it's not more than that.
No. Culture is I fully agree with that one.
Yeah, also fully agree. Really, you're right.
Absolutely. And then thanks for that. But if you look at your own company, so Martijn, you have 8 companies that's under the Growth Collective. Amphenol is quite a huge company, more than 1,000 people. Bastian, your company team is also quite big. What do you do as a company to take active measurements to avoid the effects of the Great Resignation?
Well, shall I start?
You can. You are more than welcome.
It is like you said, Jaap, Amphenol is a huge company. We have almost 100,000 people working for us, but we are maybe a little bit of an atypical big company, because we are actually a big patchwork of thousands of smaller and bigger different units or teams, companies that are working under the Amphenol umbrella. And our philosophy is very much that, we want to grow fast. We do that by acquiring companies as well. And if we acquire a company, we tend not to change too much. So those companies, they continue to work like they were doing because they are the specialists in their area. And if it comes to data, yeah, there is some financial reporting, about the financial figures every month, and that is quite uniform. But apart from that, all these units and companies and organizations are working with their own tools. We make the choice not to invest in big tools that cover the whole organization. We don't want to spend money and energy in it because we want to fully trust on the local people in place. So what we do, if we have a broader responsibility and we are responsible for, for a few of these units or a region or whatever, so I'm responsible for Europe, I rely very much on the local teams as well. And usually it starts with gut feeling, which is quite remarkable for such a big company, right?
Yeah.
So it starts with gut feeling, like, it doesn't feel good, and then you start to dig into it, and then data becomes more relevant.
Yeah, okay. It starts with the gut feeling, and then you're gonna do a deep dive.
Yeah,
absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, but then you do need to have the numbers in place. So you do need to have the metrics to really review, okay, what is it about? And is my gut feeling, is that correct? Or maybe I'm misled and there are some other reasons.
Yeah, and the next step that becomes very important is that, if you leave all those local, units to take care of it, it's not automatically that these units are able to give the data immediately, right? Sometimes they have to dive into it as well because there's no structural way of measuring it. Because it is so fragmented, data can be, we have to be very careful with the conclusions that we make out of these data as well, because it can be very polluted.
Yeah.
So at the end, it comes very much to, you put a temperature in and then you're starting to check, and you do, by doing that, you talk to people.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Okay, but if you then get the metrics and the metrics are not are incorrect, and you're then going to steer on wrong data, could also be the case.
I mean, an employee turnover rate, that's a clear figure, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
you measure it, yes.
Yeah, when you measure it, it's not something which is debatable, but the conclusions that can come out of it, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Because, is it a problem that these people are leaving or not?
Not always, especially
yeah.
And why are they leaving? That's the
why
big
are they
question.
leaving?
Why are they
retiring? Are they retiring? All kind of reasons. So it's the conclusion is that's the difficult thing, and you need to dive into it.
And you reminds we have an aging workforce, especially here in Europe, where a lot of people are just going into retirement. And there are less young people, so it's a natural thing, but we have to attract the right new people then. And
and that's also where culture becomes very important, I think. And I think someone mentioned you need to have the right culture. What is the right culture? You have a culture, and you have the people, and there has to be a fit. I think that's the main thing. And I think even younger people, if the fit is right, they will not leave easily.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
there was one.
And
I did a lot of research also for this event, and if you look at where it all starts, the whole recruitment process and the onboarding process, and if you look at that, and there are some numbers around that as well, it states that 69% of new people who would like to start working at a company leave the company within this next 3 to 6 months because of the onboarding journey.
Yep.
And apparently that is such a big deal for the
Yeah.
new age people,
Yeah.
that maybe not for my age or older, but for the youngers, absolutely.
There's a lot
The-
to win
the-
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And what do
problem
you
is,
do as a company for instance, Bastian, what do you do when looking at hiring people? What is there any
the big problem the most companies don't do is first try to look which profile, what do they expect from these people, and what is the role they're going to fulfill, and really knowing which behavior and which talents, which competencies are needed for these for this role, and then fitting the right people on it. That's the biggest problem. We were doing more 1,000 companies now, and for one very big call center agent, they had a problem with retainment of call center agents. It's going very fast, and they said, okay, now we want to know why are they all leaving, and why are they not selling or not doing, not performing. Okay, we made a big research and really go and look at what are your good call center agents, what are your bad call center agents, and then measuring actually their talents. What are the talents of the talents? Are they helpful, or are they dominant, or are they perseverant, or are they whatever they are? And
But based on
there
facts.
you saw that the management thought, well, we need ambitious people that are very perseverant, that really keep on going. And then we did our research with our psychologists, and it turned out that were the bad performing agents. The good performing agents were low on perseverance, just opposite what the management thought.
Yeah.
They had high helpfulness. They just wanted to talk to people. That were the good selling agents. So then after 3 years, they implemented TMA method, hiring the right people. And after 3 years, they got 25% more production and 25% less of more retainment. So it's all about really checking out what is the culture, what you want. The culture
Yeah,
is,
but also the data, if I hear you well.
and it's all data. It's all data driven. All data driven.
Yeah.
But it's not. But you have to do research. So it's not just
For sure.
you have to know which behavior you think, and then check if it's also the good behavior. I always say, I don't want KPIs or whatever. Just show me the right behavior, and I know what the maximum profit will be. It doesn't matter. If your culture is good and you know what behavior will deliver the right performance, then then you will be good. But it's difficult. And there what I always see, it's not often a thing what the board is talking about and thinking about, but it actually starts there. Which culture do I want? Which behaviors do I need? Which talents do I need? This should be in the board in every board, but often it's only in HR, and that's often a bad.
But is that a topic for you that is actually discussed on board level, or is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
For me,
Okay.
yes.
And what about you, Martijn and Wally?
Ladies first.
Okay. No, for us it's the same. So
Okay.
culture is, I think is becoming more and more a very important topic in the boardroom as well, which is good, right? Because
Yeah.
it was different a few years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
But having meetings on board level with a good feeling, I'm not really convinced that that is the only thing. So you need to have
A mix.
proof. You need to have fact-driven decisions.
There is where
Yeah, but-
research comes in. You
Yeah.
have to do research. And we
Yeah,
have a
but-
research team here with all psychologists and who's going in and helping the companies look at what is needed. What
Yeah. But also,
What-
what Wally start with the gut feeling,
Yeah.
and for us, it's important to have a good age structure in our venture. So a mix with experienced managers, mixed with young, ambitious managers, and giving them chances to grow, and also to make faults, and also give them feedback. So in our ventures,
Very cool. Yeah.
the top managers of our 8 companies, we have typically young leaders from 30, 35, and having coached by an experienced leader and that also keep them in our organization for a longer time, because we're giving them the chances they never get in one other company, we think.
Oh, yeah,
And
interesting.
we try to pay in lane of the market, but also not giving them extended bonuses or not. But culture is so important. Think in the combination of gut feeling and facts.
Yeah.
And
We-
data, yeah, just to comfort you.
Yeah,
and data, of
Data,
course.
and
data can become very important, to
Yeah.
check whether, there's a good fit between your culture and the people that you hire, because at the end, that's crucial, right?
Yeah, it's a combination of both, and you just mentioned that compensation, and I don't believe that compensation is the only thing that helps. Maybe on the short term, but not on the long term. You want to be a company, you want to grow as a company, you want to grow year on year, and you have this strategy, and you want to go somewhere. And by only offering really high rates or high salary, will not help you to meet those goals.
The salary
There's much
increase
more.
helps 1 month.
Yeah.
The salary
Exactly.
increase helps 1 month, and
Yeah.
then the effect is gone.
Yeah. And then you still have the same kind of
And they still
situation.
have the same problem, and they will leave.
Yeah. If you look at your own company, then if you look at the metrics that is being used and the tools that you actually use as a manager, can you give a little bit insights on that? What tools do you use,
Excel.
except the performance ones?
Excel, yeah.
X what? But
Oh, boy.
we need to talk, Wally. We need to talk.
I think so.
Oh. What kind of metrics do you actually use to get things to get insights? Can you elaborate a little bit on that? Performance, rewards, I don't know, reason for leaving. I don't know. You tell me.
You're asking me?
Yeah, anyone. Maybe the audience. I don't know. No one.
I use our our own systems for looking if people leave. It
Yeah.
almost never happens. So I still
But
have my
you-
first
but-
employee. So
But you're referring to the turnover rate.
In the end, yeah. We of course are a smaller company. We are a network company. A lot of people working for us are working like consultancy firms and training companies around our company. So we are not having a lot of employees ourselves. We're only building and making the method and our software. But what I see with bigger companies, that they often don't have a clue why people are leaving, and they are all focused more on attracting more people,
Yeah.
and then asking themselves why are they leaving.
a lot of organizations forget that you have to leave also your ambassadors, and that is very important. That I hear lots of people who are leaving their company and resigning with a bad feeling. So they are not an ambassador for your organization in the future. And we also have exit conversations. So when somebody leaves, I ask our managers to have a conversation why they are leaving. So we're getting a good view on the reasons why. So we have to learn from that.
Yeah.
And that's not data. That's also combination of facts and gut feeling. So have we made faults, or also, Bastiaan, have we recruited the wrong profile? And we have lots of reasons of and we can act on that.
But it's not always bad that people are leaving. So
Yes,
people
that's
are
also good.
could come within for the right profile, but
Yeah,
but people are developing,
Yeah.
and maybe my company or your company doesn't have the opportunities to
Yeah.
grow further. And then I have last year one person left, and we were talking, and I said, if this comes in your career now, you
Yeah.
should leave. And if
Yeah.
if you don't leave, I fire you, because
Yeah.
you have to go.
Yeah, well,
Because
that's also
if you
good.
have to
don't,
stimulate. Yeah,
you are
absolutely.
a great talent.
Agree.
You are a great talent, but
Yeah.
your career is here kept. Yeah,
Yeah.
I cannot give you more than this. If you
Yeah.
can make this step now, and she was coming to me, should I do this? I'm so committed to your company, and I said, you have to go. You
Yeah.
must do this. Otherwise,
Yeah.
in 1 year you look back and think it's. But you have to have sincere intention with your employees and with
Yeah.
as manager. And keeping the conversation open all the time. Actually,
Yeah.
your managers should say, well, these people will probably be going next 2 years.
Yeah.
Because
We
and
also have. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Sorry.
oh yeah, what often managers now do, they think, oh, these are my 6 or 7 or 10, 20 people, and these are my talents, and I want to keep them. I want to keep them for myself.
Yeah.
But certainly for bigger companies, they say, no, these people are not mine for my as manager. No, these are ours. These people maybe can grow further in another role where they are now growing and having a fit within this company. So people are much often too protective about their people. It's one big talent pool. Where can you find the most talents, especially for bigger companies, for more than 400 or 500 people? It's your own talent pool.
Yeah.
It's your own people. Get to know the talents of your people. Measure them all every year. Know what their competencies are. Know what their drives are. Know everything. If you do that, okay, then we have systems and we can plot them and you can say, oh, and it's
and there we have an opportunity for a company like Amphenol, because I think that's where it sometimes goes wrong, right? People, I don't think that managers are protective, but it's more the challenge, to find within our very fragmented organization where this person who is ready for the next step, or whatever, where could he blossom, or where could
that's
he
a
well?
problem. That's a problem. And
To
then they
find
leave
the right spot there.
because they also think that they want it. They don't get a job. They get the job elsewhere, and we have to hire a new one. But if we could give this job to that person in the company, they would stay with the company another year or 5 years or 10 years longer, and would be happy.
Yeah.
So getting grip on your talent pool. And what's your biggest talent pool? Your employees that you already have.
But this and we have come to an end, unfortunately, because I think we can continue this kind of conversations on and on and on. There's so much to tell. But I think this is a really good bridge to our next speaker, and I want to thank you, Martijn, Bastiaan, and Wally for your insights on this topic. It's great to hear what you guys do and how you see this. And yeah, I really look forward to continue our collaboration. Let me. We
Thank you
have
very much
the.
for the
Sorry
time.
again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the time and
Thank you.
You're more than
thanks.
welcome.